Today we're getting an update on the 6-foot shallow reef tank. What is going on, guys? Devin from Reef Dudes. Now today we're going to get an update on the 6-foot shallow reef tank. Now this might even be the last update, so we'll see. There might be one more. I'm about to go away out of town for 3 weeks, and the tank's hopefully going to survive that 3 weeks without me, which I'm sure it will. However, when I come back, I'm going to upgrade the tank. So we'll see how the tank is. Maybe I'll do a post-vacation follow-up. If not, this may be the last video of my beautiful, wonderful reef tank. As if you guys have been following the channel, you'll know upstairs, above where the banister is, like right at the top, I'm going to be doing a 6-foot water box peninsula, so I'm very excited for that. My plan is to take all my rock out of this tank, and I bought a frag tank, like I used one a couple months ago. This is sitting in my shed. That one's going to go in my new office, and I'm going to probably try and fit most of this rock into the frag tank. Now, as long as that works, I'm going to try and do all new rock and a brand new scape in the new tank, so hopefully it's going to be pretty cool. So before I move it all, before I go away, all that stuff, I figured I'd do one last video on it and give you guys an update on how the tank is doing. Looking down the lengthwise of the tank at the end view is kind of always one of my favorite views of the peninsula. So it's nice to just appreciate all that depth. So I'm really looking forward to finally having a tank or peninsula set up where I can view it from all three sides. Overall, the acan garden's doing pretty good. The Melanurus wrasse, that little punky's taken out a few of my acans just from flipping them over upside down. They've been buried in the sand for a couple days, and I've lost a few heads here and there, so he may get evicted when I do the tank move. We'll see what happens. I got a second little plate from a buddy, so I got 2 of those now. Looking around, we come back, we got little Chalice Island. Now this one, the Miami Hurricane, is growing like crazy. It's starting to grow over top of the other chalices, so he's definitely going to get a fragging once I'm back in town. Looks like one of my chalices got knocked over. The little punk snails will tend to do that. Now, one thing that always amazes me, if you look at the chalices at night, the little tentacles that come out the eyes is crazy how long they are. It also kind of makes me wonder why we call them eyes, because they're more like mouse, but same diff. So we got the green Nephia, so hopefully get the clown salad eventually. Got the Duncan, that's been pretty happy over there. It's kind of partially shaded under the little overhang, but it's been growing well. Cinnamon Grande Palles. And my 2 Kryptonite bounce mushrooms have actually started to grow really well. The bounces on these guys are massive. So it's kind of a cool splash of color. And if we come up just in front, I got these 2 Jawbreaker mushrooms, which are super bright. And I got these from BK Chem at Wrap, New York. And my newest addition would be the Space Invader Pectina. So I picked it up from Buddy Troy. Super cool coral. Now this guy's a little bit of a mean guy. If you look at the nighttime, there's some crazy long tentacles that come out of him. Next we got the Scully. This guy has some really cool colors. It pops like crazy under the blues. Under the whites is a little paler, but the more you feed this guy, the kind of better the colors are getting over time. One thing you'll notice is that Scully on the side. Now this guy was starting to get stung in my tank from the Rainbow Monty in the Nano, so I moved it over to the big tank, and I kind of decided to try mounting him on the side, since I actually was watching another video, and they do grow on the side of walls in the wild, and so far it seems like it's doing pretty happy there. We look in the back, lots of cool corals hiding on the backside too. Now one thing that I started to do is, because I knew at one point I would likely flip this tank, I started putting a lot of corals on the back of the rock, so it's kind of funny because you don't even really get to see them or notice them now, but when you flip the tank you get to see it. Now that's kind of somewhat of a moot point, as I'm potentially doing a brand new rockscape now. If you guys did vote on that one, you guys voted for it, so I posted on the Reef Dudes page a while back if I should keep the scape or do a new one, and the majority of the votes said do a new scape, so that's what's coming. Kind of one of my plans is if I can get all this rock into the frag tank, along with the corals, it can kind of grow and thrive in there for now, and I can break off all the branches and kind of replant them in the new tank. And so this will kind of be like the office display slash frag tank, and as stuff grows out in there, then I can just start making frags off of it. So that's one benefit of having it nice and based and crusted all over the rock. So as long as all the corals are fairly happy during that transition, it should work out and be a pretty good deal. Gonny Point Island is actually doing very well. If you guys saw this one, if you've been following for a while, as of the spring, it's kind of when I started it, and it's got lots of little frags, but now that they're starting to grow out and just all start to touch each other and fill in, it looks super cool. So loving how this is turning out. Now this guy is actually kind of amazing that I just threw him on the sand bed one day, I wasn't sure where to put him, and he's been growing extremely well. The branches growing up all over the place. That one was Montipora fuchsia. All the Cyphasters are encrusting, they're all been pretty happy and doing well. Michael, if you're watching, buddy, I got strawberry shortcake growing, so far so good. Come around to the back. And we got the mushroom rock. I think these ones are, I believe they're called Citrus rhodactis. A bazillion people keep asking about these. One of these days I'll probably have to frag some up, but it's an awesome splash of color in the tank. Just pop off the side stand panels. A bit of a quick update on the stand and how everything's doing with it. We got the Clarity filter roller. Now this guy has been, feels like it's almost at the end of the roll. Let's see what we got left. So a little bit left, and this has been over 2 months now, so I'm super impressed with this is, and I heard they even have like an extra large rollout now, so it should last even longer. So if I can get in 2.5, 3 months of a roll, I think that's a pretty sweet place to be. Then skimmer, cleaned about a week ago. Tons of nice, dark, lovely skimmate in there. So super impressed with this guy. I did a review on it recently, like a 3 or 4 month review, and that guy has been absolutely amazing. Next we got the little NIOS reactor, and just do a little bit of carbon that I change once in a while. And the Refugium. So we got the AI Refugium light. This thing is honestly one of the best Refugium lights I've ever used. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is literally growing out of the water. This thing is insane how well it grows it. I believe it's at around 70% right now, and it goes pretty well. Now a lot of people have asked me about these. These are the Reef Dudes AI Fuge kind of light shapers. Now these guys are perfect to prevent your skimmer getting full of algae. Prior to these, this whole thing would be growing with algae. Same with having these clear tubes. So all that light, like this thing does a ton of light, and that will completely algae up after a while. So I designed these to kind of protect my equipment on the sides from getting algae in it, and it does, it shapes the light so it only hits the Refugium. Now if you guys have an AI Refugium light, make sure you check these out. I did these with a bit of a collaboration with Vivid Creative Aquatics, and they're the AI Prime light shaping visors. So yeah, definitely check those out. Super inexpensive, super awesome product. I had a ton of people asking about them, so I kind of, my first Reef Dudes product. So if you guys have the AI Refugium light, definitely check those out. Next chamber over, we got a couple Brightwell blocks in there, and these are going to be for seeding the new tanks once I get them up and running. Next over, we got the calcium reactor. We got the Reef Bot, a little waste container, and my big mess of wires. Now I know it's been a terrible mess of wires, which is not my style. However, I also knew that the new tank was coming soon enough, and that's kind of why it's been on the side burner for now. But still got the Alcatronic back there, and that's testing the tank every 12 hours. Reef Bot tests once a week on Fridays. The waste container, little Comore pump's doing its thing, and it's doing a pretty steady drip of water now to kind of keep up with the demand of the tank. And the tank is of course lit by my 5XR15 Pros, and I do have the diffusers on these, which does help give you a little bit better light spread and helps kind of even out all the light. It gives you very even par spread, which I like about it. The other question that always comes up in these videos is asking about my light bar. This was a DIY light bar I made out of extruded aluminum, and I did do a video on it, so I'll put that link to that video in the description if you want to figure out exactly how to make it. You can check that out afterwards. Screen top. This is the D&D jump guard. Super slick little top, similar to my old DIY one, but a little fancier. It does have a flange around the whole screen top, which I love. So when you put it down, super minimalistic, you barely see it. So that's a huge selling point. I prefer not to have a top, but if I gotta have one, I want one that's as sleek as possible. I also did hear rumors that there was kind of a pro version or a potential version that had black mesh on it, so I think I'm gonna do that one next time, just because it won't reflect quite as much and it'll be even stealthier. So hope you guys enjoyed this last, potentially final update on the 6-foot shallow reef. And yeah, we'll see. I might sneak in one more post trip. We'll see how the tank's doing. And if I have a chance to do it in midst of all the renos and all the changes, I'll see if I can sneak in one more final tank update. But as far as I can tell at the current moment, this may be the last and final update, as she is in all of her glory. Still kind of makes me sad to take it down, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm moving the tank regardless, so it's kind of a good excuse to do a little bit of an upgrade and potentially new scape and do something new and fun. There's going to be a whole new build series with it, so make sure you guys are subscribed, hit that bell to follow along. And I'm going to try and do everything from absolutely very beginner basic all the way to set it up. So hopefully everything I do will be filmed, and yeah, you guys get to come along for the ride and hopefully learn a lot along the way. Now as always guys, if you did enjoy this, smash that like button. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell, and I'll catch you guys on the next update.